Welcome to Blue Grotto, Florida's largest accessible underwater cavern and one of the world's favorite freshwater dives. You'll start here in our full-service dive center. We stock last-minute parts and accessories, t-shirts and souvenirs, snacks and beverages, and have a fully stocked rental department. Our state-of-the-art fill station can provide you with both air and nitrox. After checking in, pull through the gate and park by any one of our non-reserved shelters. You can suit up either here or on our large deck overlooking the water. When you're ready, our floating dock with its submerged entryway makes entering and exiting easy. Blue Grotto is composed of 3 distinct areas. These are the open water basin, the upper cavern, and the lower cavern. Note how quickly the lower cavern drops away, and the fact it is not within direct sight of the entrance. This cutaway view provides a 3-dimensional representation of the spring. Notice each of the 3 distinct areas, as well as the guideline that circles the perimeter of the cavern. The open water basin is used primarily by students and instructors. You'll find several training platforms here. Water in the basin, as well as throughout the cavern, is a constant 72 degrees year-round. The upper cavern is a wide open area with a large entrance, which you can see clearly at all times. Dive lights are not needed while in the upper cavern, but can add considerably to safety and enjoyment. Among the upper cavern's most popular features is an air bell at a depth of 30 feet. The air bell contains fresh air circulated from the surface and provides a 360-degree view of the entire cavern. The floor of the cavern is very silty and easily disturbed. You'll see more and have a better time if you stay near the ceiling, where the most interesting formations are. If you do need to touch down momentarily to make an adjustment or solve a problem, use one of the training platforms or Piece Rock, a wide, flat rock located in the back right corner of the upper cavern. The lower cavern is not for everyone. Before you consider going there, make sure you have better buoyancy control and trim than this guy, who can't seem to get past being vertical. Depths in the lower cavern approach 100 feet, which requires advanced training or equivalent experience. Be aware that you will lose sight of the entrance and ambient light when in the lower cavern. The exception is an area just past Piece Rock in 60 to 80 feet of water, where you can still see the entrance clearly. For this reason, many instructors choose to conduct advanced course deep dives and deep diver specialty training here. Past this, the rest of the lower cavern is pretty dark. Fortunately, the large guideline provides a reliable means to return to the surface in either of 2 directions. You can also use the guideline to pull yourself along and thus keep your fins still to avoid silting. Areas off the guideline are very silty, so stay on the guideline at all times. Following the guideline in a counterclockwise direction will help prevent you from running into other teams. Virgil is Blue Grotto's resident soft-shell turtle. He's friendly, curious, and has a habit of showing up unannounced, usually near the dock or on one of our training platforms. So please don't swat at him or try to chase him away. You'll hurt his feelings, and let's be honest, who could say no to a face like this? If you'd like to interact with Virgil, there are a few things you need to keep in mind. First, don't approach or chase Virgil. Let him come to you. You can often get Virgil's attention by making a squeaky noise by rubbing your thumb and forefinger together. Second, don't try to touch, hold, grab, or even pet Virgil. He'll just run away. If you'd like Virgil to sniff your fingers with that rather incredible nose of his, hold your closed fist flat on the platform. Just don't stick out a finger. He might mistake that for food. If you'd like to feed Virgil, that's okay. Just don't give him any human food because that could make him very sick. There's specially formulated turtle food available at the dive center. Finally, Remember that turtles need to surface periodically to breathe, and if you prevent them from going to the surface, they can actually panic and drown. So if you see Virgil start to head up, let him go. Every dive site, including Blue Grotto, has its own unique risks and hazards. The open water basin is adjacent to both the dock and an overhanging ledge, so look up before you come up. Remember that, when in the air bell, you are breathing compressed air. It is important that you resume normal breathing when you leave the air bell to avoid the risk of a severe lung overexpansion injury. Breath hold diving into the air bell is particularly dangerous and carries an even greater risk of injury or even death. Don't do it. Overhead environments pose several risks, chief among them the inability to make direct descents. Additional risks include loss of breathing gas and loss of visibility due to light failure or silt. To better manage these risks, watch your depth. Only the upper cavern is within the recommended depth limit for divers with entry-level certification. Stay with your buddy. As you may not be able to make an emergency swimming ascent, your buddy may be your only source of emergency air. Always keep enough gas in reserve to solve a problem, then make a slow ascent and a safety stop while donating gas to an out-of-air buddy. The most commonly followed rule is to begin your exit with at least 2/3 of your original gas supply remaining. Carry backup lights, especially if you plan to go beyond sight of the entrance. Keep one hand on the guideline whenever you can't see the entrance clearly. Stay out of small openings. They don't lead to additional rooms. Pass only through openings which have guidelines and which are large enough for you and a buddy to pass side by side. Blue Grotto can comfortably accommodate a number of divers, just so long as people think about others rather than just themselves. Space on the dock is limited, and there can be a lot of people coming and going. Divers can do this without difficulty as long as they don't have to step around your unattended gear. The entryway allows a number of divers to enter and exit the water at one time, which they can do provided they don't have to stand around with heavy equipment on their backs waiting for you to get out of the way. To help avoid this, enter and exit the water as quickly as you safely can. Do not sit on the stairs to don fins. If you can do so safely, don your fins while floating on the surface. By the way, carving or defacing underwater rocks or cave formations is a first-degree misdemeanor in Florida. The spectacular visibility is one of the leading reasons people come to Blue Grotto. So if you stir up the silt, you not only affect your own enjoyment, but everyone else's as well. To help avoid this, stay out of shallow water. If you float on the surface in shallow water, your fins will stir up the silt, ruining the visibility for everybody. Stay as far away from the bottom as possible. The closer you get to the bottom, the more likely you are to stir up silt. Wear the least weight possible. The more weight you wear, the more likely your feet are to sink, causing you to stir up visibility. It's very unusual in fresh water for any diver to need more than 12 pounds. Maintain good body position. Your knees should always be in line with your shoulders. Wear full-length exposure protection. You'll need it for warmth, and it helps keep your feet from sinking. Clip off all dangling gear. Dragging octopuses and consoles along the bottom ruins the visibility and damages equipment. If you find yourself sinking faster than you can add air to compensate, avoid the temptation to kick to slow yourself down. Instead, try to land on one finger. This will stir up less silt. Once you've reestablished neutral buoyancy, push off gently and avoid kicking. Avoid standing, sitting, or kneeling on the bottom. These are really bad habits for any diver to get into. Instructors, please make sure your students are all neutrally buoyant before leaving the platform, so that they don't end up looking like this. And finally, before heading to the bathrooms, remember to rinse your feet. Thanks for watching. Dive safely and have a great time. Oh, and don't forget to stop by the dive center on your way out to pick up your Blue Grotto decal for your logbook.